Hi everyone, this is Mr. West. Today we're doing a math drills worksheet called Converting Fractions. This is on mathdrills.com. There will be a link in the description below if you want to check it out for yourself. This particular worksheet essentially is asking us to convert what we call a mixed fraction into an improper fraction. So what is the difference between these two concepts? Well, mixed fraction is what we see here. All of these are mixed fractions because they are mixed between a whole number, which is the big number out front, and a fraction next to it, which I'm going to change color. So this thing right here, that's the fraction, and then we have the whole number in front of it. So it's called a mixed fraction because it has both those elements. What is an improper fraction then? The improper fraction is the number expressed in only one fraction with no whole numbers, okay? So if you're looking at this, this means no whole numbers, okay? Now, I think the best way to start with this one, obviously you want to start with the top. I think we should start with kind of an easier example. So we're going to go down to this one where it says 1 1/4. So we're asked to convert this into an improper fraction. That means no whole numbers. So how do we do that? The first thing I want to do is I have some this is my template, and it's asking me to shade in 1 1/4. Okay, what does this mean? Okay, so if we're talking about 1 1/4, that essentially just means that we're shading in this whole right here, because that's what the 1 represents, the whole part of this pizza, this fraction, this number, whatever you want to call it. Pizza is the best one to use. And then also 1/4 additionally. Okay, so 1, that's this element right here, and then 1/4, that's that element right there. It is a mixed number, okay? Mixed fraction. It has both those elements. That's what it's talking about, okay? So if we're looking at the number 1, what does that mean? That essentially means 4/4. 4/4, 4 divided by 4, that is 1 whole. If you have 4 out of 4 slices, that's the whole pizza, okay? So if we're trying to convert it into an improper fraction, we don't want whole numbers. We just want to know how many total parts. So we want to know, and I'll write it up here, we want to know the total parts, okay, over the part per whole, or the parts per whole. Okay, and what does that mean? Well, we know there's 4 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4 per whole, okay? But how many total parts do we have? We have 5. So that's 5/4. That would be the improper fraction of this. We have 5 total pieces out of 4 slices per whole. So that's how that works, okay? That's an improper fraction. Now, the quicker way to do this problem, and I'll show you real quick. No, let me show you one more before I get into the quick way, okay? Just if you want to skip ahead, that's fine, but I want to show you at least one more way. Okay, so 2 1/2. That's our next number. That means we have 2 whole numbers. I'm going to go a little bit more quickly. So 2 whole numbers, and then also 1/2 in addition to that. So we have this 1/2 here, okay? 2 1/2. Now, we need to express this as an improper fraction. I'm going to move this guy just a little bit. He's in my way. Okay, it doesn't really matter. So 2 1/2. We want to express as improper fraction. Again, that means the total number of parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out of how many there are per whole. And you can understand what that number is because it's always going to be the number shown here. That's how you convert it into an improper fraction. This is going to tell you how many parts per whole there are. So it's 5/2, okay? Now, let's say we want to take a shortcut. We want to have to draw it out and everything. How do we do that? Well, the trick is the shortcut, the algorithm, is 1 1/4. What we do here is, since we want to know how many wholes and convert that into parts, well, we can take how many parts per whole there are and multiply it by how many wholes there are. That will give us how many total parts there are from wholes. So 4 times 1, that gives us 4, okay? Now, we already know it's going to be out of 4 at the end, okay? We can go ahead and just put that number there because that tells us how many parts per whole there are. But we have this one extra one there, so we have to account for that. Let me actually change the color. So we're going to add 1 over here because that is another, whoops, let me get rid of that. I think my eraser is too big. Yes, it is. Okay, so essentially this is my extra part. These were the holes right here. That was the hole. And I have that one extra part, so this becomes 5/4. Same process here. The first thing I want to do is multiply the number of parts times parts per whole times the number of whole numbers I have. So that's going to be that number, 2, that bottom number, times 2. That gives us 4. Okay, but I still have this part left over. That means I have to add 1, and I know it's going to be out of 2 because that's that bottom number. So that gives me 5/2. So we get the same thing. Now, you may be a little bit confused, and I think if I change up the colors a little bit and break this down a little bit more simply, it'll make sense. Okay, so here's our bottom number. This is our denominator. That's how many parts per whole number there are. So there's 9, okay? So I can go ahead and write 9 right here, okay? Now, for this top number, I want to know how many wholes I have because the wholes will tell me how many parts per whole I have. So just multiply those two numbers together, these two. So I get 9 times 9. Okay, and then I have this 1 left over. I talked about that already. We have that 1 left over, so plus 1. So I have 9 times 9 plus 1 in the top, and then over 9. So that becomes 81 plus 1 over 9, 82 ninths, and that is my improper fraction. Okay, let's do a couple more. So here, do it a little bit more quickly. I'm going to go ahead and put the 5 there. I know I need to multiply the denominator times the whole number. The parts per whole times the number of wholes gives me 15 parts from the whole units. And then I have these 2 left over, so I add 2, and I get 17 over 5. Let's do a couple more. So we have this one. I know it's going to be a 6 there because there's a 6 right here. I need to multiply that by that 5. That's 30. I need to add the 5 left over, so it's 35 over 6. That's all there is to it. Again, right here, we have 1 times 9. Okay, 1 times 9 plus 5, 14 over 9. And that's all there is to converting whole numbers into improper fractions. If you need more examples done from this worksheet, leave a comment. I can even leave the answer. If you need more help on a topic similar to this, leave a comment. And, of course, make sure to check us out next time right here on West Explains Best.